Talking today, we've got the forehand. We're going to cover three things. When we're going to look at the forehand, I mean, who better to look at than Roger Federer? Maybe the greatest forehand ever. Who knows? Kind of depends on your opinion. We'll look at the use of the wrist on the forehand for a couple of pros. Roger, later Fernando Verdasco. The shoulder rotation, the unit turn, and then the footwork. You know, these guys are so fast, but you know what? They make it easy because they get their feet in position. We'll take a look at that as well. Okay, so we'll look at a couple more forehands from Roger. And he's setting his wrist during his loop, laying that wrist back a little bit because that helps him stabilize his racket face. Now he wants that wrist bent a little bit on contact because it helps him hit further out in front. And by setting his wrist during his loop, that just kind of makes it easier to have that wrist bent and set like that on contact. Also, look at how here he's pointing his left shoulder, left elbow at the ball as it's coming. And there he gets under the ball before he brushes up and opens up his hips. But look, he's pointing his right shoulder at the ball as it's going. I mean, that's a 180-degree shoulder turn that really gives him that rotation and power through the ball. And it facilitates that out in front contact point. And here, of course, we've got Fernando Verdasco. This guy's been using one of the best forehands in the world for years now. I mean, it's just a monstrous stroke for him. And we'll notice that just like Roger, even though he kind of does these things in his own way that's a little bit unique, he's using the closed stance on this particular forehand with that very similar sideways posture where he'll open up his hips the same way Roger does, gets under the ball, has that bent wrist, that set wrist on contact, same as Roger's doing. And look at that shoulder turn looking very much like what Federer uses as well. So these guys got a lot of similarities, and that's what we want to look for. And here we go again. A very almost identical shoulder rotation, and he gets under the ball almost in the same way. So he's looking to use very similar technique that he can rely on from shot to shot using an open or closed stance. Here's another open stance from Fernando. And that loop, he doesn't set his wrist as much as Roger, but look, there it is, bent again on contact, and that just puts him in a position of strength. And the combination of him choosing to go in a nice open stance or some variation of that, like we have here, is a pretty clean open stance, or a good closed stance, one or the other, these guys give themselves the chance to turn their shoulders more, the chance to lean into the ball more, get their weight going in one direction or another, and they give themselves the chance, like here, it's so easy for him to get under the ball where the butt of the racket faces the sky right before he brushes up on impact. Also, even here on the run, it gives him the chance to turn his shoulders completely, because if he doesn't load right here as he's moving to his left, there's no way that that shoulder turn is going to be that easy to make. But here it looks pretty effortless. And so it's a combination of how you use your wrist, what your feet are doing in that open or closed stance, and certainly how you turn your shoulders.